Republic City continues to recover from Korra's epic battle with Unavatu.
It wasn't even the fans that came up with it, it was the show? Really? I thought that was some fan shit. Come on, guys. Unavatu?
Come back, Boomju!
I like this season and all, but starting it off with Boomy acting like an idiot trying to catch a flying spirit over a cliff doesn't really bode well for my vibes. This only confirms to me that all of Boomy's stories were nonsense, since he clearly doesn't have any sense for self-preservation. Well, at least with Boomy's airbending, he'll have something to do this season other than be annoying, which is nice.
How are we ever gonna clear away all these vines?
Does anyone else find that kind of funny? Korra whips around her new staff we've never seen her with. You're expecting some airbending probably, and then yeah!
I can vanquish Vatu, but not a bunch of stupid vines?
You can vanquish Vatu. It's like the Amon line all over again. Did you? Seemed like Janora did all the playmaking. You just tapped it in.
I don't think the people who used to live here are as excited about it as you are.
See? Good. Repercussions of the last season happening, unlike season 1 and 2 being completely unrelated shows for the most part. I know the team creating the show mostly wanted them to be contained stories within the seasons themselves, considering how their production schedule was so weird, but at least there's something, some consequences to events happening, which is much better if you ask me.
Are you concerned that your approval ratings are now nearly as low as the Avatars?
This dude's still reporting from 2 seasons ago. Nice.
Listen, I've been trying everything I can think of to get rid of these vines, but...
I walked through them, I blasted them with fire. Where do you go after that?
Is this part of your New World Order?
There's that New World Order thing again, but this line makes 0 sense. Yes, Korra will enforce a one-world government using the vines somehow.
The Avatar has put us all in a very difficult position.
Raiko's really something, huh? Last season he was basically just a plant, so the heroes were outmatched at every turn and had no resources or backup, even when the fate of the world was on the line. And I feel like he devolves even further from willful uncooperation to just spiteful child from here on out, mostly due to the fact that Korra did something and actively does things in this season when he refuses to. And it's not like he's a real villain, he's just an annoyance, which is, you know, kinda annoying.
You don't have my poll numbers. 8% approval? Who were they asking?
Yeah, I feel you, Korra. That's about my approval rating with diehard fans of your show. Is this Aang's staff from The Mechanist? It's got the same design, even the weird footholder things, and of course it's blue rather than orange when all the other gliders are still orange nowadays. I feel like your brain just kind of assumes it's a blue glider to color coordinate with Korra, but no, it seems like this is actually Aang's staff.
I can airbend! Yeah, wait, seriously, I was doing it.
Yes, I'll make a point about airbending just coming to people eventually. Keep your pants on. Kaya doesn't seem to sit traditionally like an airbender. Interesting, considering her upbringing.
I gotta say, I love being a part of this family. You got the grumpy dad, the wacky uncle, the put-upon mom, crazy kids.
You guys ever see clips from that movie Tusk? I hate walruses now. Do not research. What are these symbols on the walls? It just looks like gobbledygook.
Where's Mako?
Oh, you mean the brooding teenager? He's staying at the police station. He said he had to focus on work.
Wow, that was good. I was thinking these were like sweat drops in the other scene, but he still got them. So what, Boomy's been hanging out under Silk Road Bridge or something? What is this? Is this meat? I thought you guys were traditionally vegetarian. Tenzin?
Look alive, Uncle Boomy!
I think on a surface level, Boomy being an airbender for his entire life without knowing it is kind of a funny gag. It would be a little silly, but I think it's probably better than what the explanation actually is.
What the?
It was my brother. He's out of control!
Police! Open up.
Go away!
Get out here, sir, or I'm knocking this door down.
What the fuck? Relax. This can't be police protocol. He's like, my brother is a danger to his surroundings and most importantly himself. And Mako's like, get out here or there will be violence. Relax, man. He's obviously freaking out. I hate the depiction of Mako as a police officer in this show. He constantly does things that are way out of line and is rewarded for it. Whoa, Kaya, you dye your hair between shots?
Do you think being in the spirit world during harmonic convergence could have given him bending?
I suppose it's possible.
Maybe Uncle Boomy is just a late bloomer.
Right? I didn't learn how to play the saxophone until I was 50. Maybe this would have finally been the through line for me to like Boomy on any level.
You should leave it to the police. It's police business, you know. It's, official.
Okay.
So fucking true, Tenzin.
No, I'm fine. I should just get going. So, as you were.
Don't you try and make me like Mako now, you so-and-sos. Awkwardness can't win me over. This may be the best season by a mile, but it's gonna take more than that to redeem this weasel. No, not that weasel.
That's the break. Let's try again. You ready?
Hooray! Holy shit, it's a scene of two characters just hanging out, having a good time, endearing themselves to one another, being likable. It's like Christmas morning. This cast still doesn't really feel like close friends at all to me at this point. Comrades, sure, but buddies, not so much. This scene is unbelievably welcome.
No. I mean, I kissed Mako when he was going out with you, so...
Don't brag about that scene, you weirdo.
I'm glad it hasn't come between us. I've never had a girlfriend. Vine!
You didn't clock that? You were staring directly forward. It's the size of a house.
What are you doing living in the middle of the road in the first place?
Don't ask me, Avatar. You made the world this way. We're just living in it.
What does this guy mean? He has an entire spirit world he can live in. Why you gotta clog up the streets? I know Korra opened the borders, but this spirit makes it seem like they're stuck here before preaching some Hugh shit at her vaguely. I get that the idea is that they should all live together in harmony, but this isn't really a lesson that Korra has to learn over the course of the season or anything. Even though it feels like this is trying to set that up, this dude is purposely living in disharmony. He's just being a dick. Screw this guy.
It's like a dream, Dad. After 170 years. New airbenders.
I think this scene is really, really nice. In the face of last season, where there wasn't really any character stuff going on past the halfway point, and even then, it was like, yeah. It was just, the stakes are really high, let's just do a ton of shit that makes the stakes really high. It's really nice to have this scene where everything just slows down and Tenzin can be really happy, but also sad that Aang isn't here to see this. Honestly, the combination of these two scenes back to back makes me realize how much better than Season 2 this already is. Characters can just be around one another, and it can be fun. Characters can feel complex emotions and not have it be glossed over. Great start from that perspective, at least.
Avatar Korra, do you really think...
No questions. Just stand there. Silently!
Even Korra jumping to anger seems better executed. It feels more like earned frustration since she's been getting raked over the coals publicly. And she's just like, chill, I'm trying over here, rather than, fuck everyone for everything! They even tie the golden glowy water in a little bit. I still don't like it. I think it's really dumb, but you see what I mean? Things feel more tightly written. Things feel like they mattered. Raiko shows up with a party of 7, including himself, but in this shot there's only 6 people in his group. Where the hell are you guys running? That bridge is Vine City URN. It's also really fun to see our heroes help people on a small scale, too. I never really noticed that I missed that. Like, this isn't small scale in the sense that a building is falling over, but our characters helping people on, like, a human kind of level. Saving individual lives, making a difference for them. Even back in Season 1, most of the conflict was defeat the evil organization for the good of the vague everyone that we barely ever got to see. And obviously Season 2 was... what Season 2 was. I feel like moments like this can make a hero feel more heroic a lot of the time than saving the whole world, because you can see and feel the difference they made to these people. Also, the lighting from the sun is really impressive in this shot, how it cuts out and is blocked by both the toppling tower and Korra's glider. I still think about this a lot. Why is it that my brain doesn't care much about the 3D elements in these shows? Because it's not blended in all that well, but certainly better than early Airbender, but even back then I don't really care.
I think that could have gone better.
Come on, Bolin, hold it together. The writing's been pretty solid so far. Don't blow this for us.
I thought that if I really tried, I might be able to contact my past avatars. Someone who knows something to help me. But I can't. They're gone.
And I've been waiting to make this point as well. We're still clear of the video where I say losing the past lives didn't bother me so much making it to YouTube, believe it or not, as I record this. But I know there's gonna be a lot of vitriol coming my way. But this is another angle where really, it just doesn't work having access to the past lives all the time. Korra is fully realized, and as far as both shows have told me, that means she should have pretty easy access to talking to her past lives. But people are mad at Korra for not using that option in Season 2 alone. Could you imagine if that went on for 2 more seasons? If she did have that option, and used it as much as she probably should logically, the show would be horribly mired by Korra constantly sitting down to ask someone and then probably just doing what they say. And that would be pretty boring. Does that mean the past lives had to be severed? No, but I think it's an effective way of getting around the problem, logically. Actually, in one of the comics, this exact problem is brought up, and Aang has to deal with trying to get advice from Roku, and long story short, after those events, he mostly doesn't look for advice from his past lives anymore, because he decides he's going to be his own avatar. Which may have been a nicer way to do things in Korra as well, but I think just cutting the option off entirely makes sense too.
Did I ruin everything by leaving the spirit portals open?
I don't know, maybe. If you think you did, just go close them again. What's stopping you? Also, people pointed out in Harmonic Convergence that right before Vaatu got free, they had full access to the portal they entered through, and people say, why don't they just close the portal there? And yeah, hey, you're right. Why didn't she do that? Wan closed them from the outside. Why couldn't she? Just seal it for like an hour, let Harmonic Convergence pass, then reopen it and go team up on Unalaq and get Jinora. Easy Sunday.
Your job isn't to fix the daily problems of every person in Republic City. Your responsibility is to bring balance to the entire world.
Once again, I will heap praise onto a scene where two characters can just converse and be there for one another. Season 2 was nearly always objective-based. The conversation was always about, oh my god, we gotta do this thing, because if we don't do this thing, then this thing will happen, then we'll have to do this thing. There wasn't really any time for character, like I pointed out in that extremely rushed Asami Bolin scene. But now, Korra is struggling and needs advice, and the show takes its time to give the scene room to breathe.
Some people will be very happy. Like me. What you did during harmonic convergence may have brought back the Air Nation.
You didn't do it on purpose, but you know, still, thanks.
Mako called! The cops found the new airbender guy, but when they tried to bring him in, he ran away and climbed to the top of Kyoshi Bridge and he won't come down!
No, Kyoshi Bridge, get him down, it's too high up. You ever wonder what happened to the sky bison with the broken horn that Korra took from that fire island? I'll keep an eye out for him.
Come down immediately, or we will be forced to take action.
Get down here, or I swear to God I'll come up there and throw you off there. Classic Republic City policing. Korra, what did you do to Aang's staff? Where'd the thicker bit on this end go?
I don't want to be an airbender. Please, you're the Avatar. Make it stop!
True, she could actually. Is it kind of messed up that she doesn't? She just forces this life-changing event on him?
But I promise you, things will get better if you just give it a chance. Let me take you over to Air Temple Island and we can talk this through, okay?
It's nice to see that Korra can be a hero without being an action hero. Having her just sit down and talk to this guy is much in the same vibe as feeling more heroic for making a difference to fewer people. Aang doesn't even get moments like this with random people. His friends, sure, but only really them. This moment makes it seem like Korra is really making an attempt to be a better Avatar, not just a stronger one. Okay, now this guy can stop being such a nerd. Just use your hands.
The vines and the spirits are here to stay.
Well, you know who's not here to stay? You! I order you to leave this city.
Leaving Republic City has to be one of the best decisions this season does. So Raiko, you know what? Your approval ratings have gone up just a bit.
I can see my path now. There are new airbenders out there and I'm gonna find them and rebuild the Air Nation.
Don't think I'm not going with you.
And Tenzin gets something really important to do. Man, they sat down to write this episode 1 and they were like, hey, you want to try to do stuff right this time? Where are we right now? This the Patola Mountain Range? We down south?
Guru Lahima lived 4,000 years ago in the Northern Air Temple. It is said that he unlocked the secret of weightlessness and became untethered from the earth.
I think Zahir's introduction is pretty cool. The dialogue he delivers seems a little overstuffed, though. He's supposed to be a thinker and an intelligent man, so I get what they were going for. But these first few lines seem a little long-winded and not as deep as they wanted them to seem.
That when you base your expectations only on what you see, you blind yourself to the possibilities of a new reality.
But I guess that's a perfect introduction for Zahir, am I right? Haha! Anyway, Zahir does an air pull move, which I have to point out, once again, incredibly rare, only glimpsed twice before this. But I say that, but then sometimes I think of this moment, and I'm like, well, I guess that counts, but no, I don't count that, get out of here. And his physical introduction is extremely interesting too. If he's not a bender, why is he so fucking nice with it? Very compelling, right out the gate. And although I have my problems with airbending being reintroduced on a grand scale like this, we'll save that for a later video. A Breath of Fresh Air is the title of this episode, and oh my god, they're so right. I know the title is referring to the new airbenders, but a title has never been more apt to a feeling an episode has given me. This episode was good, it was slow, and it was good. It was a good slow. We set up the physical problems and intrigue nicely, and we have the time to even have a few scenes where characters can just be characters at each other. It's so refreshing. Instead of this overcomplicated, underexplained plot where plot things happen for no reason and character things just don't get to happen. The character writing was solid, Korra and Tenzin's feelings felt real and understandable, and the animation seems stronger than the end of Season 2 already. And the Zahir stinger at the end is really interesting, despite the airbending thing kind of being like, eh. Is the episode as good as I think it is, or was how bad Season 2 ended making it better in my head? I don't think it matters. This episode is good. Patreon shoutouts. If you want to see the next 2 episodes of Overanalyzing Korra ahead of the YouTube releases, you can support me on Patreon for just a few bucks. Link, as always, is in the description below the video. Biggest shoutouts of all go to my top patrons, Blanco, who saw a human-sized fishhook dangling from the sky one day and had the mental fortitude to just not touch it at all. Cameron Lowry, who can move directly upward in a straight line, but he usually just takes elevators to not frighten anyone. Jammin, who has found an alarming amount of 4-foot-tall insects and just hasn't reported them for the betterment of the collective human psyche. Luna Invicta, who enjoys things 4% more than everyone else, and they paid for it, so it's fair. Lurfax1, who can enter the dreams of all ungulates, and you'll never believe it, they're all dreaming about grass. Matthew Lang, who can drink salt water due to a specialized organ they evolved because they started thinking about it when they were 5. Potato Scream, who was supposed to be flogged in town square once, but the whips kept breaking on their crazy trapezius muscles. The Full Meaning of Life, who gets a combo counter in real life for anything they do more than 3 times in a row, and 25 combo for an S on clipping your nails seems to be a little much to me. The 1am Party, who is 5% frog, the 5% that allows them to stand on lily pads, which is pretty sick. And Whitrow, who broke their their spine, but they still won that goddamn toboggan race last Sunday. And of course, my other fuck you money patrons, a stack of pancakes, Ben Misera, Donut, Gene Cree, Kevin Bartlin, Liquor Cause I Know Her, Omega Fighter, Tater of Tots, and that one Turian. And my god, overanalyzers, Two Boots Are Beat, Ang, Alan Garvin, Andrew Jacobson, Andrew Watchett, Aropataro, Axolotl Syndicate, Bob Deff, Carlo Wren, Chandler Crump, Charles the Fartbender, Kobe Smith, Deathly Healer, Dr. Xerox, Dominic Saint, Dricker, Emma, Aaron Grace, Fire Lizard 44, Funtime 575, I'm a Match, Jason Gebhardt, Jackson, Jeremy Rubenstein, John Ojaka, John Warhammer, Justin Scott, Mac, Medium D Speaks, Michael Felman, Mitchell Gobrecht, Nick, Nicholas Abbott, Peter Bayron, Pogger White, Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes, Rocket Miss, Ryan Gregorikos, Ryan Maxwell, Sandy Stormborn, Shane Antonacci, Silk Toast, Smarty Marty, Spicy Ketchup, Super Snipper, Thomas Barrett, Victoria the Queen, Von Can't Spell, and some sort of bear face. Next up, Korra 3, 2.